Hello students, welcome to my channel Bhavya Physics. Today we are going to discuss important questions of first PU Physics, that is first chapter, units and measurement. So this video is already uploaded in 2024, that is 2 years back, and weightage of this lesson is 3 or 4 marks. So I got good response in that video, and some students are asking explain some questions. So I already uploaded the explanation for all the topics. Please go through this playlist. You can find explanation for all the topics. So once again, if I explain what are all the important questions in this lesson. So the questions are like this. Here, as I mentioned, the weightage of this lesson is 3 or 4 marks. That is, the weightage is only for midterm exam or for annual exam. So you have to go for weightage only for these exams, not for the test. So in coming quarterly test, that means in August onwards, the PU students are writing quarterly test, first quarterly test. So for that, don't go for weightage. Okay, so you can expect some 3 marks or 5 marks questions also. So here the weightage is only for exams, midterm exam as well as for annual exams, right? So for that 3 or 4 marks weightage will be there. For quarterly test we are not giving weightage. Okay, so first thing is fundamental quantities. You should know what are all the fundamental quantities. That means the quantities, a physical quantity is a measurable quantity. All measurable quantities are called as physical quantity. Either using a direct scale or by indirect method you are measuring quantities, right? So the quantities are called as physical quantities. So they are broadly classified into fundamental quantities or called as base quantities as well as derived quantities. Fundamental or base quantities are just like ABCD in English alphabet. So it is just like it is not having its own existence. It doesn't depend on other quantities. So the fundamental quantities are mainly mass, length, time in mechanics. So there are 7 fundamental quantities in all together in physics. That is mass, length, time in mechanics, as well as temperature and thermodynamics, heat and thermodynamics, and current, electric current in electricity, and luminous intensity, your amount of substance. Luminous intensity is again intensity of light. So as well as this one, amount of substance, mainly we are using in chemistry, right? So these 7 are fundamental quantities which are called as base quantity, which has its own independent existence, which doesn't depend on other quantities. And derived quantities means except these 7 fundamental quantities, remaining all others are called as derived quantities. While defining, we are taking the help of these fundamental quantities. And there are 2 more supplementary quantities, supplementary units or quantities like plane angle as well as solid angle. And here the Bureau has given Bureau has given what is that Weights and Measurement Bureau, which has given units, SI units. Okay, so that is standard reference. For unit is, you know that it's a international accepted standard units for measurement. So that SI units was given and for all the fundamental quantities we have standard units, like length is having meter. So length unit is meter, and mass unit is kilogram, which is written as kg, and time unit is second, as well as electric current unit is ampere, and temperature unit is Kelvin, and amount of substance unit is mole, and luminous intensity is candela. So like using all this, we are writing the units for derived quantities. For example, if you need to define area is length into breadth, or volume can be defined as length into breadth into height. So that means here length, which comes 2 times, so we can write area SI unit is meter into meter, which is meter square, or here it comes 3 times, we can write it as meter cube. Or if you write density, how to write density, which is the definition of density is mass by volume, and mass is a fundamental quantity. Mass fundamental quantity whose SI unit is kg, and volume is a derived quantity whose the unit is meter cube. Together we can write kg per meter cube. Similarly, we can define velocity or speed as distance or displacement divided by time taken, that is nothing but meter per second. So like this, all the derived quantities are defined in terms of fundamental quantities. If you know the definition, you should practice the definition. If you know the definition, you can in a position of writing its SI unit. Some standard physical quantities are having the SI unit in terms of scientists, like force SI unit is Newton, pressure SI unit is Pascal, like that resistance unit is Ohm, and temperature unit is Kelvin, like this. So many some physical quantities are having the scientist's name. Okay, so the derived once if you know the derived quantities to write, then you'll know how to write its SI unit. And come to the dimensional formula. So dimension is nothing but how many times that fundamental quantity comes in that physical quantity. For example, if you go for area, here length which comes 2 times and there is no mass as well as time. And if you consider a volume, length which comes 3 times and again there is no mass and time. So we are writing any derived quantity in terms of mass, length as well as time. For example, so here we can write area as area, you should write in square bracket, and here you are writing within square bracket mass, length and time in capital letter. It's a dimensional formula of fundamental quantities, mass, length as well as time. If in area mass has no say mass is not coming in area, so that's why we are writing 0 time. It is not coming, so it's 0 time, and length which comes 2 times, and time also has no role in that while measuring area. So therefore it comes 0 time. So this is a way of writing, or simply you can write L square, right? Or you can write density like this. So how to define density is mass by volume, and we are writing the dimensional formula like this. M which comes 1 time and L comes 3 times in the denominator. So volume which is in the denominator, so this is a way of writing its dimensional formula, and T is 0. Similarly, you can write the dimensional formula of all the physical quantities which are derived quantity. Force means the definition you should know. Force is defined as M into A, where A is a derived quantity which can be written as displacement by time square, because acceleration is velocity by time, again velocity is the displacement by time. Together we can write like this, and its dimensional formula is M comes 1 time, L 1 time, T comes 2 times in the denominator, so it is M L T minus 2. So like this, you should be in a position of writing dimensional formula. So please do practice the dimensional formula in this lesson. It's one of the very important concept. You can expect for 2 marks. So write the dimensional formula of any 2 physical quantity, that is derived quantity will be mentioned. By that time you should be in a position of writing the dimensional formula, or if it is asked in MCQs, you can write dimensional formula if you are thorough with the dimensional formula. For that, you should know the definition of all the derived quantities in terms of fundamental quantities. Okay, so now come to the point, what are all the important questions you can expect for 2 or 3 marks? Sometimes 5 marks, as I told, it's sometimes 5 marks for what is that, quarterly test. Okay, so now application of dimension analysis. So it will be asked for 3 marks or 2 marks. Mention any 2 application of dimension analysis, means you are just writing dimension analysis helps to convert from one system to other system, or for checking the correctness of equation, or to obtain the relation between any 2 physical quantities, we are taking the help of dimensional analysis. And what are the limitation of dimension? So though we can use a dimension for all this purpose, but dimension fails to identify or fails to find the value for constant. Proportionality constant cannot be proportionality constant value cannot be obtained by using dimension. That is one very what is that, it's a drawback or demerits of what, dimension. Okay, and one more is, if the function is having, if the relation means the equation, if the equation is having log function, logarithmic function, or trigonometric function, or exponential function. Suppose if the equation is having log function, log x something, or if you have some equation like sine function, okay, or trigonometric relation, or if the equation is having exponential function, then dimension fails to obtain the relation for that. And one more thing is the dimension fails to get the relation if there is a plus mark or negative mark. For example, here x is ut plus half at square, right? So s is ut plus half at square. So if there is any arithmetic operation like addition or subtraction in between two terms, then we are not able to obtain the relation for that. So this is a drawback of dimensional analysis. So these are called the limitation of dimension. And using this dimension, we can convert from one system to other. That is like these two are very important. Question asked for 3 marks. Conversion from one system to other. These two will be there. And I already solved this. Please check this video. So link will be given in the description box. Please do check. And checking the correctness of any of the equation. Suppose the equation may be correct or it may be wrong. You need to correct that equation. You need to check the correctness of equation. For that, you are using the principle of homogeneity. So you should write according to the principle of homogeneity. Dimension of both the dimension of all the terms in a given equation should be same. So next one is obtaining the relation between different physical quantities. Here also, this is sometimes asked for 5 marks. So in case in quarterly test, it may be asked for 5 marks, or in exams, since there is no 5 marks questions, this may be asked for 3 marks. And 1 mark is always, one MCQ will be always asked. Definitely you will get one MCQ questions from this lesson. And 3 marks questions may be there if the weightage is 4 marks, or you may expect 2 marks questions if the weightage is 3 marks. Okay, definitely you will get one MCQ questions and 2 or 3 marks questions. So obtaining relationship between different physical quantities, either you are expecting for 5 marks or for 3 marks. Some relations like time period, relation for time period, as well as relation for centripetal force may be there, or relation for frequency of stretched spring will be there. So you practice these 3 relations, which is very important, and please go through this video where I solved all those. And significant figures and rules for finding significant figures, which is one of the very important questions for competitive exams as well as in case of PU board MCQs. So you are expecting one questions that is for MCQ, you are based on significant figure. That is one definite question. So you should be in a position of identifying how many figures, significant figures are there in this given number. So for that, please go through this video. I explained thoroughly but how to find the significant figures and arithmetic operation involved in significant figures, rounding of the number, everything is explained in this video. Please go through this video. Okay, so if you have any doubt regarding this concept, so you can message or you can comment in the comment section. So if you find this video helpful, please like, comment your opinion, and don't forget to share with your friends. And if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe my channel, and thanks for your support.